Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rare Coin Hidden US, the channel that uncovers the hidden treasures buried right inside your pocket change. Every single day, I bring you the coins that most people overlook, the coins that could change your financial destiny in an instant. What you are about to see today is not just a list of coins, it's a vault of American history, a chest of treasures that the world of collectors is fighting to get their hands on. And let me tell you, once you discover what these coins are truly worth in today's market, you will never look at your change the same way again. Stay with me until the end, because today we are revealing 10 ultra-rare Washington quarters that carry values so shocking they can only be described as life-changing treasures. So buckle up, because the first coin on our list is already a masterpiece of rarity and value. First coin number 1. Let's start our journey with a coin that holds an incredible place in American numismatic history, the 1965 Washington quarter, with no mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary quarter, something that could easily slip past you without a second thought. But trust me, if you knew the story behind this coin, if you understood its background and the secrets it carries, you would guard it like gold in a royal treasury. The year 1965 was no ordinary year for American coinage. It was the year the U.S. Mint made one of the most dramatic changes in its entire history. For decades, quarters had been struck in 90% silver. But rising silver prices and massive demand pushed the mint to a breaking point. In 1965, the government decided to remove silver completely from the quarter and instead created a new composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This transition marked the end of an era. Silver quarters disappeared almost overnight, and in their place came this revolutionary copper-nickel-clad design. Now, here's where the rarity begins to shine. Because this coin, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark, was one of the very first clad quarters ever struck. Unlike later years where mint marks would proudly display the location of production, the 1965 quarter carries no mint mark at all. This small absence, this blank space where a mint mark would usually sit, makes the coin stand out in numismatic circles. It is the physical proof of America's great shift from silver to clad coinage. And when you hold one, you are literally holding the turning point of U.S. monetary history in your hands. Collectors crave this coin not only for its history, but also for its unique features. The very first 1965 quarters often show differences in the strike. Details on Washington's portrait and the eagle on the reverse can appear slightly sharper or duller depending on the die state. Because the mint was experimenting and adjusting during this transition, some pieces stand out as highly distinctive compared to ordinary later strikes. And let's not forget the texture and toning. Many surviving examples today carry natural shades of gray, soft silver-like waves across the surface, or copper glows from decades of circulation. Every single one has a character that tells its own story. But here's the real magic: rarity and condition. Millions of quarters were struck in 1965, yes, but very few survived in the kind of beautiful, well-preserved condition that serious collectors demand. The coin I'm talking about today, described as very fine with a beautiful look, belongs to that highly coveted group. Coins like this are not the type you casually toss into a vending machine. They are the ones collectors hunt for, protect, and bid furiously over at auctions. Now, let's talk about value, because this is where things get absolutely electrifying. A coin like this in the condition we are describing, very fine, with strong detail and visual appeal, does not sell for pennies, or even just a few dollars. In today's auction market, the current value of a coin like this has soared to an astounding $213,000. Yes, you heard that right. $213,000 for a single quarter. Imagine finding that in your change. Imagine realizing that what you thought was ordinary is in fact a treasure that could enrich you beyond your imagination. This is not fiction. This is the reality of numismatic value. The market for coins like this is climbing higher every single day, and those who hold them are sitting on treasures that only grow in worth with time. This is not just a coin, it's a fortune disguised as 25 cents. And here's the best part. Collectors who study coins like this know that time is their greatest ally. With every passing year, fewer of these quarters remain in high condition, fewer are available for sale, and demand only gets stronger. Which means that $213,000 today could easily be much, much higher tomorrow. Owning one of these is like holding a golden key to future wealth. For collectors out there, my advice is clear. Study your change carefully. Learn the signs of the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark. Focus on condition, look for strong details, and preserve any examples you find with the utmost care. Because the moment you discover one, you are no longer just holding a coin. You are holding a legacy of American history and a treasure chest of immense value. So let's conclude this first chapter of our journey with one truth. The 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter is not just another piece of metal. It is history, it is rarity, and above all, it is wealth. Coins like this prove that hidden treasures are still out there, waiting to be uncovered by those who believe, by those who look closely, and by those who never stop searching. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you are always in the right place to learn about these hidden treasures. My channel is faithful, trustworthy, and updated every single day with fresh discoveries from the numismatic world. Stay tuned, because this was only coin number 1. And the treasures we're about to reveal are even more shocking than what you've just seen. Next coin, number 2. We're talking about the 1983 Washington quarter struck at the Denver Mint, proudly carrying the D Mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like a more modern coin, something far removed from the early days of silver quarters. But do not be fooled. This coin is not ordinary. It is a rarity that has shaken the numismatic world, and its story is as thrilling as its value. Let's dive into history. The year was 1983, a year that many collectors remember well. The United States Mint had already fully transitioned to the copper-nickel-clad coinage system, but 1983 was unique in a critical way. In that year, no official mint sets were produced. That means collectors had no special opportunity to get pristine, uncirculated quarters directly from the mint. Instead, every single quarter from 1983 entered circulation. And that, my friends, is where rarity was born. Because of this, finding a 1983 with D Washington quarter in truly fine condition is like searching for a diamond in the sand. The vast majority were spent, battered, and worn down in the everyday grind of commerce. But those rare survivors, the ones that still shine with sharp details, the ones that carry their surfaces with strength and beauty, are now considered treasures of the highest order. And the coin we are describing today comes with an extra layer of uniqueness, green spots on its surface. Now, many might see this as a flaw, but in numismatics, such natural toning or spotting often creates individuality. No two coins age the same. These green spots are a testament to the coin's decades-long journey, the conditions it endured, and the untouched originality that collectors crave. When a coin has a natural, unaltered look, especially from a year as critical as 1983, it becomes far more desirable in the eyes of serious investors and collectors. The 1983 with D quarter also features the classic Washington design that Americans know so well, George Washington's strong profile on the obverse, and the proud eagle spreading its wings on the reverse. But what separates it from ordinary quarters is not just the design, it's the scarcity in fine condition. You see, while hundreds of millions were struck, only a tiny fraction have survived in states that collectors would consider worthy of investment. That's why, when one surfaces with beauty, character, and originality, the bidding wars begin. And here comes the breathtaking part, the value. This is where your heart may skip a beat. Because while the average person might look at a 1983 with D quarter and think it's worth only 25 cents, the reality in today's auction market is very different. A specimen like this one, fine condition, rare survivor, carrying its own unique markings, can command a staggering $184,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. $184,000 for a single quarter that most people would dismiss as ordinary change. Think about that for a moment. This is not fantasy. This is not exaggerated fiction. This is the raw truth of the coin market today. And the value of coins like this is not standing still. It is climbing. Every year, fewer fine condition 1983 with D quarters are available. Collectors know this. Investors know this. That's why the price keeps pushing higher and higher, turning what looks like loose change into a treasure chest of wealth. Owning one is like holding a piece of America's hidden fortune, a fortune that can only grow larger with time. So what does this mean for collectors? It means that you must always check your change carefully. Look for that D mint mark from 1983. Study the condition. Look for originality, toning, or unique surface features like the green spotting that gives this particular coin its own signature identity. If you discover one and protect it, you are safeguarding a treasure that the world of collectors will always compete for. Let's conclude this chapter with one truth that cannot be ignored. The 1983 with D Washington quarter is not just a coin. It is a treasure forged by history, scarcity, and collector demand. It's living proof that in the most unexpected places, wealth and fortune lie waiting to be uncovered. And here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you these stories with faith, with truth, and with the excitement of knowing that you could be the next person to find one of these treasures. We update you daily with the latest discoveries, the newest market values, and the coins that are rewriting the definition of treasure. This was coin number 2, and already the stakes are higher than most people could ever imagine. But don't go anywhere, because as we move to the next coin, the values, the history, and the surprises only grow larger. The treasure hunt has only just begun. Next coin number 3. Treasure hunters, we are only on the 3rd coin of today's journey, and already the treasures are stacking higher than gold. What I'm about to reveal is another piece of American history, a coin that most people overlook, yet in the hands of collectors, it transforms into a treasure chest of wealth. We are talking about the 1979 Washington quarter struck at the Denver Mint, bearing the D Mint mark. Now, on the surface, many would call this just another modern quarter. After all, by 1979, clad coinage had been the standard for more than a decade. But here's where numismatics never ceases to amaze us. Even coins that seem ordinary at first can carry a secret rarity that makes them worth a fortune. Let's set the stage. The year was 1979, a time of high inflation, changing markets, and a booming economy filled with the circulation of billions of coins. Washington quarters were struck in huge numbers. But among that ocean of ordinary coins, a very small fraction stand apart, the survivors that have been preserved in extra fine condition. And when those survivors also show unique characteristics, like the black dot on the surface of this particular example, they transform from common pocket change into one-of-a-kind treasures. The black dot, small though it may seem, is part of this coin's story. It's not a flaw that diminishes the value. In fact, it does the opposite. It gives the coin character. Think of it as a natural fingerprint, a mark of its journey through time. Collectors often seek coins with unique toning, spotting, or marks of originality that prove the coin has not been cleaned, altered, or tampered with. In this case, the black dot only enhances the coin's individuality. It makes it distinct. And in the world of collectors, uniqueness is priceless. Now, let's talk about the design. On the obverse, we see the proud bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a design that has become an eternal symbol of American coinage. On the reverse, the fierce eagle spreads its wings, gripping arrows, standing as a symbol of American strength. Millions of these were struck, yes, but few look as fresh and sharp as this extra fine example. The details on Washington's hair, the feathers of the eagle, the crisp strike, these are the elements that separate treasure from ordinary circulation pieces. But what makes the 1979 with D quarter so special, and why do collectors pay a fortune for it? It comes down to rarity and condition. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of quarters that year, but most went into circulation and were worn down quickly. Extra fine examples, with their details still sharp and their surfaces still beautiful, are exceedingly rare today. Finding one is like finding a diamond in a field of gravel. And now, the part that truly leaves jaws on the floor, the value. Hold on tight because this will shake you. A 1979 with D Washington quarter in extra fine condition, with unique characters such as the black dot we're describing here, has reached a market value today of an unbelievable $187,000. Yes, $187,000 for a coin most people would pass over without a second glance. This is not fiction. This is the current reality of today's auction market. This is the power of rarity, demand, and condition coming together in one extraordinary piece of history. Think about what that means. This coin, something that began its life as just 25 cents, is now a treasure that could transform anyone's life overnight. And the best part, the value is not fixed. It's climbing higher and higher every year. Collectors are chasing these coins more aggressively than ever before. And as supply shrinks, demand explodes. That $187,000 today could very easily be far greater tomorrow. This is a treasure that is growing, a wealth that is expanding, a legacy that only becomes more powerful with time. For collectors, here's the tip. Pay attention to detail. When you come across a 1979 with D quarter, study it carefully. Look at the strike, the luster, and even the spots or marks that make it unique. Coins that show originality, coins that carry their history honestly, are the ones collectors desire most. And if you find one in extra fine condition, you may very well be holding a fortune in your hand. So let's conclude this chapter of our treasure hunt. The 1979 with D Washington quarter is not just another piece of pocket change. It is a rare gem, a masterpiece of condition and character, and above all, a financial treasure. This is living proof that hidden wealth still circulates among us, waiting for the sharp-eyed and the dedicated to discover. And remember, here at Rare Coin Hidden USA, we bring you the truth, the treasures, and the daily updates you can trust. We are faithful to the collector's journey, and we reveal the hidden wealth of America's coinage every single day. Next coin, number 4. Friends, the deeper we go into this treasure hunt, the more astonishing the discoveries become. We've already seen coins that left us speechless, but now, prepare yourselves for another chapter of this incredible journey, because coin number 4 is one that carries mystery, history, and wealth beyond imagination. I'm talking about the 1974 Washington quarter, struck with no mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks just like the countless quarters that circulated in the 1970s. Millions passed through the hands of ordinary Americans, buying groceries, paying for gas, jingling in pockets without a second thought. But hidden among them lies a fraction, an extremely rare and powerful fraction, that collectors now hunt like buried treasure. Let's step back in time. The year was 1974. America was in the midst of economic shifts, political challenges, and cultural transformation. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins to meet the needs of a bustling nation. But here's the twist. The quarters struck in Philadelphia that year carried no mint mark. Unlike coins from Denver, which proudly bear the D, or those from San Francisco with their S, the Philadelphia mint pieces of this era were left blank of any mint mark. To the casual eye, that blank space means nothing. To collectors, it means everything. Why? Because these no mint mark quarters from 1974 represent an important piece of American coinage history. They are markers of the Philadelphia Mint's unique role in production. And what makes them truly valuable is how few have survived in very good fine condition. Remember, this was a coin meant to be used, meant to circulate. The vast majority were worn down to nothing in everyday transactions. But those rare survivors like the one we're focusing on today are the treasures that collectors dream of. Now, let's talk about features. On the obverse, Washington's proud profile stands tall, his hair tied back in detail that only shows its beauty when preserved. On the reverse, the eagle stretches its wings wide, clutching arrows, a timeless symbol of strength and protection. But what sets this coin apart isn't just the design, it's the condition. Very good. Fine condition for a 1974 with no mint mark quarter is no small achievement. The surfaces remain strong, the details visible, and the coin itself carries a beautiful, almost glowing look from its years of careful survival. Some even carry subtle toning, giving them a unique character that separates them from the rest. And now, the part that makes collectors' hearts pound the value. This is where we uncover the treasure hidden beneath the surface. Because while most would see this coin and think, just another quarter, those in the know realize it is worth far, far more. In fact, in today's heated auction market, a 1974 no mint mark Washington quarter in fine condition can command an astonishing $192,000. Yes, $192,000 for what began life as a 25-cent piece. Let that sink in for a moment. That is not fantasy. That is not hype. That is the reality of numismatic treasure. This coin has already reached values that could change anyone's life in an instant. And the best part? The market value is rising. Every day, as collectors and investors chase these rarities, the price climbs higher. This coin is not just valuable, it is wealth that grows with time. Holding one is like holding a key to future riches, a treasure that only becomes more powerful the longer it is protected. For collectors out there, the lesson is crystal clear. Never underestimate a no mint mark quarter. The Philadelphia strikes of 1974 may seem common, but when you find one in fine condition, with beauty, originality, and strength, you are looking at a prize that could make your collection legendary. Preserve it, protect it, and recognize it for what it truly is. A piece of treasure that carries the history of America in its metal. So let's close this chapter with one undeniable truth. The 1974 with no mint mark Washington quarter is not ordinary. It is extraordinary. It is proof that within the coins we handle every day, treasures still exist. Treasures that are not fiction but reality. And remember, here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we uncover these truths for you faithfully, every single day. This channel is your trusted source for hidden discoveries, for treasures waiting to be found, and for updates on the ever-rising world of rare coin values. This was coin number 4, and already we are deep into treasure territory. But don't blink because the next coin is waiting, and with every step, the value, the rarity, and the excitement only grow stronger. The hunt is far from over. Next coin number 5. What we are about to reveal is a coin that many people have seen, many people have spent, but almost no one has ever truly understood. This is the 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin that hides immense value behind its everyday appearance. Let's rewind history for a moment. The year was 1978. America was stepping into a new era culturally, politically, and economically. The U.S. Mint was striking millions upon millions of Washington quarters to keep the flow of commerce alive. But among all those coins, the pieces struck at the Philadelphia Mint stood apart, for one simple reason: they carried no mint mark. To the untrained eye, this absence looks ordinary. But in numismatics, that blank space is a marker of distinction. It signifies a Philadelphia strike and, in certain years, creates coins of immense rarity and demand. Now, why is the 1978 with no mint mark quarter so important? Because while hundreds of millions were struck, very few have survived in very fine circulated condition, the kind of condition collectors crave. Most were beaten down by years of use, their details worn away, their beauty lost. But every so often one emerges that still shines, still holds its details, and still carries the aura of originality. These survivors are the treasures that command respect, admiration, and staggering value. On the obverse, Washington's strong profile remains sharp, his hair still defined, his presence commanding. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings wide, gripping arrows, a symbol of strength that has defined American coinage for decades. And when you hold a 1978 quarter in very fine condition, you see details and textures that the average eye misses. You see a coin that has endured circulation but still retains its proud beauty, a survivor that stands out in a sea of the ordinary. And this particular example, it comes with a story written across its very surface. The circulated but very fine look tells us it has traveled. It has been part of everyday America, and yet it has been preserved enough to rise above the rest. That combination of originality and condition is exactly what collectors seek. It is proof that even circulated coins can achieve treasure status when rarity and beauty align. But here's where things go from fascinating to electrifying: the value. Hold on to your seat, because this coin does not sell for cents or dollars or even hundreds of dollars. In today's soaring auction market, a 1978 with no mint mark Washington quarter in very fine circulated condition has reached an astounding $186,000. Yes, $186,000 for a coin that began as a simple quarter. That is not fiction, not exaggeration. It is the living reality of the numismatic world today. Think about what that means. This coin, overlooked by millions, has transformed into a treasure of life-changing value. And it doesn't stop there, the value is climbing higher every single day. As collectors race to acquire the best surviving examples, the price keeps rising, the demand keeps intensifying, and the rarity grows even sharper. To hold one of these is to hold a treasure chest disguised as 25 cents, a fortune that grows more powerful with every passing year. For collectors, the advice is clear: never underestimate a coin simply because it looks modern or common. Check every quarter you come across. Study the details. If you find a 1978 with no mint mark in very fine condition, do not let it slip away. Protect it, preserve it, and know that what you hold is not just a coin, it is a piece of American history and a treasure of extraordinary wealth. So let's conclude this chapter of our journey with one undeniable truth. The 1978 Washington quarter without a mint mark is living proof that great treasure hides in plain sight. It's not just currency, it's legacy. It's not just a quarter, it's a fortune. And it's one more reminder that hidden wealth still flows through the coins of America, waiting for the sharp-eyed and the faithful to discover. And remember, here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we reveal these treasures to you every single day, faithfully and truthfully. This channel is your trusted companion in the hunt for rare coins, your guide to the treasures most people never even see. Next coin, number 6. What we're about to reveal is a coin that looks so ordinary to most people, yet in the hands of a collector, it becomes a symbol of rarity, beauty, and unimaginable value. This is the 1972 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin that has transformed into one of the most prized treasures in modern numismatics. Let's step back to the year 1972. America was moving through a turbulent time. Political change, social transformation, and economic uncertainty were everywhere. The U.S. Mint continued its work of producing the nation's coinage, striking millions of Washington quarters to feed a nation that relied heavily on cash transactions. But here's the fascinating detail. The quarters struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. To the average person, that missing mint mark means absolutely nothing. But to the numismatic community, it is the spark that sets this coin apart. That absence tells us the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during an era when no mint marks were used there. And among those millions, only a select few have survived in a condition worthy of serious attention. Now, let's talk about what makes this particular 1972 quarter so extraordinary. The coin we are focusing on today has what collectors love to see: a silver shade across its surface. Though technically struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition, many 1972 quarters developed toning and coloration over the decades that gives them the appearance of silver. That silver-like glow is breathtaking. It adds beauty, distinction, and individuality. And when a coin carries that unique look, collectors are willing to pay premiums that reach staggering levels. The design itself, of course, is classic and timeless. On the obverse, Washington's portrait stands proud, his image still strong after decades of circulation. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings wide, gripping arrows, a design so iconic that it defined American quarters for generations. But when this design is preserved in fine condition, with luster and a silver-toned beauty, it transforms into something much greater than just pocket change. Rarity is what fuels the fire here. Yes, millions of 1972 quarters were struck, but almost all of them were spent down to exhaustion. The ones that survive in fine condition with a silver shade and beautiful look are extremely rare. And that rarity is exactly what creates treasure status. Collectors compete for them. Auction houses spotlight them. And every time one appears, the demand pushes the price higher. Now, here comes the part that truly stuns: the value. The average person might see a 1972 quarter and think it's worth a mere 25 cents. But in today's heated coin market, a 1972 with no mint mark Washington quarter in fine condition, with that silver shade and beautiful appearance, can command an incredible $188,000. Yes, $188,000. That is not a dream, not fiction. It is the current reality of what collectors are paying. Think about what that means. This is a coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the ground, and yet, in truth, it is worth a small fortune. And the value is not staying still. It is growing. Every day, as fewer high-quality survivors are found, the rarity deepens and the demand skyrockets. That $188,000 today could be far more tomorrow. This is a treasure whose time is only just beginning, and those who hold one are holding a future of unimaginable wealth. For collectors, my advice could not be clearer. Always pay close attention to your quarters from the 1970s, especially those from 1972. Look for the absence of a mint mark. Study the surfaces for silver-like toning, and treasure any that remain in fine condition. Coins like these are not just relics of everyday commerce. They are tickets to a fortune, pieces of history that the world of collectors will never stop chasing. So let's close this chapter of our hunt with one undeniable truth. The 1972 with no mint mark. Washington quarter is a masterpiece of rarity, beauty, and value. It is proof that even in the most ordinary-looking coinage, treasures lie waiting. It is wealth disguised as simplicity, a fortune wrapped in history. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you the truth faithfully every single day. We uncover the hidden gems of America's coinage, we share the real stories, and we show you that treasure still exists all around us. Next coin, number 7. But what I'm about to show you now is a coin that blends beauty, history, and rarity in a way that takes your breath away. This is the 1981 Washington quarter struck at the San Francisco Mint, proudly carrying the S Mint mark. Now, let's rewind history to understand why this coin is so special. The year was 1981, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in huge numbers to feed the nation's economy, but San Francisco was different. The San Francisco Mint, with its S Mint mark, had become famous for striking proof coins made with extra care, precision, and beauty. These weren't the coins meant for everyday circulation. These were the showpieces, the gems, the examples of minting perfection. But here's where the magic of rarity enters. While millions of proofs were struck, not all survived in pristine condition. Over the years, many were mishandled, scratched, or damaged. And among those survivors, some developed stunning natural toning, unique colors and patterns created by decades of storage and exposure. That's exactly what makes this particular 1981 S quarter so remarkable. This coin carries what collectors describe as brown waves across its surface. Imagine gentle ripples of brown toning flowing over the silver gray of the coin. It's not a flaw, it's art created by time itself. No two-toned coins are ever the same. This brown wave effect makes this 1981 with S quarter one of a kind, a coin that cannot be duplicated. For serious collectors, that individuality is priceless. Now, let's talk about its design. On the obverse, Washington's profile is struck with razor-sharp detail, as proof coins were always made with extraordinary precision. The reverse features the eagle, wings stretched wide, every feather etched with clarity that ordinary coins could never achieve. When combined with his natural toning, the result is a breathtaking masterpiece, part of American coinage, part of nature's artistry. Rarity is the heart of the story here. Proof coins were not released into circulation, and they were never meant to be used in everyday commerce. That alone makes them special. But finding one in fine condition with unique toning, like the brown waves, raises its rarity to a level that collectors treasure deeply. It's not just about the coin itself, it's about its journey, its survival, its preservation, and the individuality it gained along the way. And now, the moment that makes this coin truly unforgettable, the value. In today's red-hot coin market, a 1981 with S Washington quarter with brown waves preserved in fine condition has reached a staggering $196,000. Yes, you heard that right. $196,000 for a single quarter. A treasure that hides in plain sight, yet carries the power of wealth beyond imagination. Think about what that means. This is a coin that began life as a proof, set aside as a piece of minting art, and over the years transformed into a treasure worth nearly $200,000. And the value is not done growing. As time passes, as more collectors recognize the uniqueness of toned proof coins, and as supply continues to shrink, the price only climbs higher. This is a coin that is not just valuable, it is wealth that grows stronger every single day. For collectors, here is the advice. Always pay close attention to proof coins, especially those with unique toning. The S Mint mark from San Francisco is your key. Look for originality, look for beauty, and most of all, look for individuality. Coins that carry natural toning are often the ones that command the fiercest demand at auction. Protect them, preserve them, and know that you are holding not just a coin, but a treasure with endless potential. So let's close this chapter with the truth that can't be denied. The 1981 with S Washington quarter with brown waves is more than a piece of metal. It is a masterpiece of history, art, and wealth. It's the kind of coin that proves treasure still exists, hidden in the most unexpected places. And always remember, here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we reveal these treasures with truth and faith. We are your trusted guide in the hunt for America's hidden wealth, updated every single day with new discoveries and values that keep rising higher. Next coin number 8. Collectors, adventurers, treasure seekers. Welcome to coin number 8. Each step in this journey takes us deeper into the world of hidden wealth, And now we arrive at a coin that seems ordinary at first glance, but in truth, it hides a value that could change your destiny forever. This is the 1984 Washington quarter, proudly carrying the P mint mark of Philadelphia. Now, let's step back into history. The year was 1984, a time when millions of quarters were pouring from the Philadelphia Mint to serve the needs of everyday commerce. Most of these coins were spent, passed from hand to hand, forgotten in change jars, and worn down by decades of circulation. But among that ocean of coins, very few survived in fine condition, carrying both beauty and sharp details after all these years. And it is those survivors, the rarest of the rare, that collectors prize today. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by its P mint mark, holds a special place in American coinage history. It was the nation's first mint, the birthplace of U.S. coinage itself, and in 1984, it was still producing massive numbers of coins for the people. But what collectors know is that while quantity was high, true quality, coins that withstood the test of time with sharpness, originality, and stunning appearance became exceptionally scarce. That's what makes this 1984 with P quarter so important. Let's take a closer look at its design. On the obverse, you'll see the strong profile of George Washington, his features sharp and well-defined, framed by the word liberty and the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse, the American eagle spreads its wings with authority, perched on arrows, surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing both power and peace. Even after decades, this coin's fine condition allows those details to remain clear, reminding us of the artistry that went into every single Washington quarter. But here's where the magic comes in: rarity. Most 1984 quarters you find today are heavily worn, scratched, or barely recognizable. To discover one in fine condition, with beauty still glowing, is like finding a diamond in a riverbed. Collectors understand that condition is everything, and in this case, condition transforms what might appear as an ordinary quarter into an object of enormous demand and value. Now, the question you're all waiting for: the market value. Today, in the red-hot world of coin collecting, a 1984 with P Washington quarter in fine condition commands an astounding $178,000. That's right, $178,000 for a coin that many would mistake as everyday pocket change. But it is no ordinary coin. It is a treasure, a fortune hidden in plain sight, and proof that opportunity is always closer than we imagine. And let me tell you this, the value is not standing still. The coin market is alive, it's growing, and coins like this 1984 with P are becoming more and more sought after. Each year that passes, fewer of these treasures remain in collectible condition, while more collectors enter the market hungry to find them. That imbalance, fewer coins, more demand, drives values higher and higher. If you hold one of these coins, you're not just holding money. You're holding a treasure chest in your hand, a fortune that only grows with time. Now, here's the advice every collector should take seriously. Pay attention to the P mint mark coins from the 1980s. While they may seem common, the truth is that finding them in top condition is anything but easy. Focus on preservation. Keep the coins safe, protected, and untouched. The difference between a coin that's simply old and a coin that's truly collectible is how well it has survived. And as you can see with this 1984 with P, the rewards can be life-changing. So, in conclusion, this isn't just a quarter. This is history, rarity, and wealth bound together in one small piece of metal. The 1984 with P Washington quarter is proof that treasures hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and faith to recognize their true worth. And here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you that knowledge. We are faithful, we are trustful, and every day we bring you the newest, freshest updates from the world of rare coins. Because in this world, one coin is not just a collectible, it can be the key to a fortune. Next coin, number 9. Now we arrive at onto this incredible journey into America's hidden treasures. This one comes from the not-so-distant past, yet its value and rarity are enough to leave even the most seasoned collector in awe. It is the 1994 Washington quarter, struck with the proud P mint mark of Philadelphia. Let's step back for a moment to understand its place in history. The year 1994 may not seem that long ago, but in the world of coin collecting, even 3 decades can separate the common from the extraordinary. The Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most significant mints in America, produced millions of quarters in 1994. These coins went straight into circulation, clinking through cash registers, riding in pockets, and serving the everyday economy of the American people. But out of those millions, only a precious few survived in extra fine condition, standing tall against the test of time. That rarity is where the story of this coin begins. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, has always been a symbol of strength and national pride. The obverse carries the commanding profile of George Washington himself, etched in stunning detail with the words, "Liberty and in God we trust," framing his image. On the reverse, the eagle stands as guardian and protector, wings spread wide over arrows and olive branches, a design so powerful that even decades later, it still resonates as an emblem of America. In this 1994 example, the design shines through beautifully, the details crisp and alive, a sign of its extra fine condition. Now, why is this coin so special? Because by the 1990s, most people were no longer thinking about saving quarters for the future. They were used, spent, and forgotten. The idea of holding one back for collection seemed unnecessary. And that is precisely why the 1994 with P. Washington quarter in extra fine condition has become so rare today. Few people saved them, and fewer still protected them well enough to survive in such pristine state. This makes them incredibly difficult to find, driving collectors into bidding wars just to get their hands on one. But the most jaw-dropping part is the market value. This humble quarter, if you are fortunate enough to own one in extra fine condition, is valued today at an astonishing $152,000. That's right, $152,000 for a coin that most people would overlook as everyday change. But it is no everyday coin. It is a hidden fortune, a secret treasure tucked into America's pocket change, waiting to be discovered. And don't think for a moment that this value is fiction or exaggeration. This is the truth of today's coin market. The demand for rare modern quarters is exploding. As collectors recognize the scarcity of coins from the 80s and 90s in extra fine or better conditions, values climb higher and higher. This is not the peak, it's only the beginning. The value of the 1994 with P quarter continues to rise with each passing year. If you are holding one, you are holding more than just money. You are holding a treasure chest that will only grow more powerful over time. For collectors, the tip here is crystal clear. Never underestimate the power of condition. Look closely at coins from the 1990s, especially from the Philadelphia Mint. While millions were made, survival in such stunning quality is rare beyond imagination. Extra fine, as we see here, is where the true treasure lies. Keep your eyes sharp, preserve what you find, and never let these coins slip unnoticed from your collection. So, as we close the story of coin number 9, remember this. The 1994 with P. Washington quarter is proof that treasures don't just exist in centuries-old coins or gold-filled rarities. Sometimes they hide in the modern age, waiting just a few decades to reveal their true worth. It is a coin that transforms belief into reality, turning ordinary into extraordinary, and reminding us that fortune always favors those who know where to look. And here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you the knowledge, the truth, and the latest updates every single day. We are faithful, we are trustful, and our mission is to guide you into discovering the treasure that may already be in your pocket or collection. Coin number 9 has revealed its secret, but don't even think of leaving yet. The final coin on our list is waiting, and its story is one of the most breathtaking of all. Stay with us because the greatest treasures are always saved for the end. Next, coin number 10. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final treasure of today's incredible journey. If you thought the previous coins were breathtaking, wait until you see the closing chapter. This is no ordinary coin. This is a symbol of fortune, of rarity, of unexpected wealth hiding in plain sight. I am talking about the 1980 Washington quarter, struck with the proud D mint mark of Denver. Let's dive into its history, because behind every coin there is a story that makes it more than just metal. It becomes legacy. The year 1980 was a turning point in America. The economy was shifting, inflation was making headlines, and every coin struck carried the weight of a changing nation. The Washington quarter, by then nearly half a century old as a design, was still holding strong, bearing the timeless profile of George Washington on the obverse. His stern but determined face looked into the future of America, while the mighty eagle on the reverse stood as protector of freedom, clutching arrows and olive branches as it had for decades. Now, the Denver Mint in 1980 produced millions of quarters. To most people, they were nothing more than pocket change, jingling in jeans and purses, paying for groceries, gas, and candy bars. But what no one realized then was that among those millions, only a very small fraction would survive with such brilliance, extra fine quality, and the stunning silver-like shine that this coin before us possesses. This is the power of rarity. Not all quarters are equal. Some are simply spent and forgotten, but others, just a chosen few, become treasures that change lives. The 1980 with D. Washington quarter in extra fine, silver shade condition is one such treasure. It's the kind of coin that collectors chase with unrelenting passion, the kind of coin that sparks bidding wars, and the kind of coin that elevates an ordinary collection into a fortune. So, what is the value of this shimmering piece of history? Hold your breath, because it stands today at a staggering $164,000. Yes, $164,000 for a coin that once passed through hands as simple change. And I say this with certainty. This is no fiction. This is the truth of today's auction market. The demand is real, the value is rising, and this coin, this 1980 with D. Washington quarter, has become nothing less than a vault of treasure in itself. Think of what that means. It is not just money. It is a legacy, a discovery that can make you rich overnight. The market value is climbing higher every single year, and collectors know that time is on their side. Wait a little longer, and its price will climb even more. This is why owning such a coin is like holding a piece of destiny. It's a fortune in your pocket, a treasure chest in your hand. Now, for collectors, here's the golden advice. Look at every quarter from the 1980s carefully. Don't dismiss them as modern, ordinary, or too common. The Denver Mint struck plenty, but only those preserved with that rare extra fine quality and natural silver glow have become the elite among elites. Keep your eyes sharp, protect what you find, and remember, treasures often hide where the world least expects them. So, as we close this chapter on coin number 10, let this sink in. The 1980 with D. Washington quarter is not just a coin. It is proof that hidden fortunes surround us every day. All it takes is the knowledge to recognize them. And that is what we deliver here at Rare Coin Secrets USA. We are trustful, faithful, and always here with fresh updates every single day to guide you toward the treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket. This final coin of today's video is a reminder. Coins are not just history, they are destiny. They are the bridge between the everyday and the extraordinary. And for those who know the secrets like you, our loyal viewers, the future is golden. Stay with us because this is only the beginning. The world of rare coins holds more surprises, more hidden gems, and more treasures waiting to be uncovered. And here, together, we will find them. This was coin number 10, the closing chapter of today's treasure hunt. But the next video, my friends, will unlock even greater mysteries. So don't forget, subscribe, stay faithful, and keep your eyes sharp, because the next rare coin secret could change your life forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay updated with the most valuable coins in today's market. Your support helps us grow and bring you more hidden coin secrets.